welcome back to another episode of Real Riders Ride. I am, of course, your host, The Spoiler, and in front of me are two gentlemen that took a very dynamic ride and historic ride to the East Coast. I want them to introduce themselves, and then we'll get into what went into this ride.
Okay, I guess I'll start. My name is Rob Mitchell. Jus-Rollin for those of you on the bike set. I am president of Raw Iron Brotherhood MC in Memphis, Tennessee. And
I am Michael Taylor. I am called Cue on the bike set. In the club, I'm called the dopest rider. I'm the mileage champ. BMF, is that much?
Shit's too much.
The reigning mileage champ is what I am.
There you go. But
so
he don't got as many trophies as I have, so there you go. How about that? He's still working.
Gotcha. So, why don't you explain your historic ride a little bit?
Well, okay. I'll do this by prefacing it a little bit. The year before, Q and I were on our way to Maine, and we were coming from Virginia and riding through Pennsylvania at the time, and we're going on this this road. I can't remember what expressway it was, but it said Gettysburg, like 3 miles this way, and the inner nerd in me, and just so happens that
I'm not. That's just he's like, he wanted to stop at Gettysburg. What they got to do with motorcycles, man?
Yeah, man.
Gettysburg.
Like, you got all of this history right there.
That was awesome.
3 miles away from where you are currently. You don't have any timeline.
It was just
what the hell are you doing? It's just the two of us. Stop and figure out what the hell happened here in Gettysburg. People died for our freedom there.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, literally for our freedom, for black people's freedom. Gettysburg Address was a part of that. Emancipation of slaves, of black slaves. Man, I mean, why not stop there and figure out what they did to give you what you have today?
Yeah, Gettysburg was cool. I mean, because they have, the big graveyards. They have the battlefield sites there. I mean, there's a lot of history there. And so we couldn't pass up the opportunity to stop there. You got the old part of town, and it was really, really cool.
And that kind of sparked our interest in other historical type situations. So with that being closely related to emancipation, we're like, well, who else is a freedom fighter? A hero like that. So at that time, I was like, man, we need to figure out where Harriet Tubman is buried and go and visit her gravesite. And that was our thought a year in advance. We're going to set up a ride and we're going to go to Harriet Tubman, wherever it is in the country.
Right.
We're going to find out where Harriet Tubman is buried, and we're going to go to her gravesite and pay homage.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Yep.
That's a year in advance.
Yep, whole year in advance.
Now you have to start planning this thing and what you want to see and how you want to see it and how long it's going to take. First, you even got to find it.
Right.
That's Google. Google knows everything.
Yeah. Google does know everything.
Google knows everything.
Man. Yeah. But, so I kind of, we talked about it, we discussed it, we finished our trip, and, I came back home, but I was very motivated. And once I say I'm going to do something, if I don't jump right on it, I'll forget it. All the head-to-head collisions from football, I'll forget it. So
that's why you're that way,
right? Yeah. So I jumped right on it, man, and I called. I did a whole bunch of stuff, figuring out that where Harriet Tubman was in New York. She was buried in New York, and did a bunch of history and those sorts of things, and started putting this thing together, man, and told all the guys that, hey, next year we're doing a Harriet Tubman Freedom Run. And I mean, my ideas were big. I thought that all of these clubs were going to be wanting to join us in this ride and everything, and I'm going to present it to all of Memphis, and all of these guys are going to love this, and they're going to ride with us, and
it was us.
It was us,
Yeah.
and and there was some teeth pulling in order to get us to go.
Yeah, and it, but it all came out well. We always have a good time. Our club went, made a pit stop along the way, and
That was outstanding.
that was cool. At the Zulus.
We definitely went to the Zulus in Ohio.
Zulus, yep.
We didn't want to ride all the way to New York. It was 1,000 miles from Memphis to New York, where Harriet Tubman was buried. So we didn't want to go all the way. So we went kind of 3/4 of the way, which to my hometown. Canton is my hometown, but I raised my kids in Akron, Ohio. So I knew some guys up there, members of the Zulus Motorcycle Club, and they welcomed us, man.
Oh, man,
they changed their bike night. They had a whole bunch of people come out and had a party and greeted us,
and they escorted us from the hotel to the clubhouse. They were extremely hospitable at the clubhouse. Did we have to buy drinks there?
We did not have to buy a drink, man. They literally rolled out a red carpet for us.
They were real cool. Those were some cool brothers there. I had an opportunity, just to chop it up with some people I didn't know, and man, they were cool. They were real cool.
So you put your logistics together by using your knowledge of people in club life and whatnot, and that helped out your logistics.
Well, we had to have a meeting place from the brothers that came down from Milwaukee, because that's where we met, right?
Right. Yep.
So that was just a nice central point for us to meet, and then the next day, the plan was just to get up and shoot up to New York.
Bounce. It was another 250 miles from where we were to New York. Okay. And it was very easy. So then, while we had this planned and everybody's going and everything, we had another brother from Milwaukee look at the map, and my brother Jen said, "Man, do y'all realize that we're only, once again, 10 minutes away from Niagara Falls? Why would we not hit Niagara Falls? We're right on 90.
I don't know the highway,
Interstate
but
90.
Right
I think
there.
it was Interstate 90, but literally
it was right there.
It would have been. It was the same thing as like Gettysburg. Gettysburg, 3 miles away. Sure. This was 10 miles away, literally, to get to Niagara Falls.
Yeah, it was a piece of cake. And then just to go there, I didn't know what to expect. Niagara Falls was beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
And it was raining. It was still beautiful. I would have went again in the rain. Yep. It was unbelievable. You're going to get wet anyway. It's Niagara Falls. There's mist everywhere. So, yeah, we just happened to be in our rain gear already.
Absolutely beautiful. I'm glad that we did that. Oh, and by the way, we have another video with some clips from all of that on the YouTube channel, so check that out. Now, what I enjoyed about the trip is just the camaraderie of our club. No matter where we go, we have a good time. But the destination was just spectacular. It was just two awesome things to kind of tie together there. And the Harriet Tubman site. There's a museum there. You get to see her house. You can kind of walk around the house. They don't let you go in it yet. It looks like they're trying to do some restoration work there. But you get to walk on the same grounds that she walked on, and that was touching. It was amazing. It was we
sat on Harriet Tubman's front porch.
Yeah, but it was still an amazing trip because you got the museum, the gravesite, her house, the church that she went to.
And awesome. How all of that came about, man, because I wanted to make this thing something that was more than just going and standing at her grave with no information about it. So I started doing all of this research on her, and I was like, well, damn, I'm doing all this research. I don't really want to, do a presentation. I was wondering if somebody, could do a presentation for us to take us around and do a tour. So I started calling around, and ended up somehow I think I called the not the Better Business Bureau, the Chamber of Commerce. I called the Chamber of Commerce to ask if they had anything going on because we went up there during Juneteenth. Juneteenth. So I was like, are there any Juneteenth celebrations going on that we can do in conjunction with this ride that we have up there? And at the time, there was nothing going on. She said, no, we don't have any events. And, with COVID and everything, we're kind of, they haven't planned a Juneteenth celebration in 2 years. So I was like, well, dang. She was like, but, it is a national park. So I'll talk to one of the park rangers and see if they might not do a tour for you. I was like, really? Man, that would be awesome. And I got all excited and geeked and everything. So now, this thing is turning into something bigger and greater. And like, wow. And like, I'm feeling like I really put this together when really all I did is attach myself to it. Right. I didn't put it together. I just, I'm attached myself. Look, I got a little clip here. I'm going to clip right into it.
Right.
So man, but it was outstanding.
Awesome.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think if you talk to anybody that went on that trip, they just had a blast. And it was amazing. I mean, that's the only word I can come up with. And we got lucky most of the way with weather going up there. We get rain up there, but I think we're all good going up there and coming back. It was a nice smooth trip. We just got lucky, I think, with the weather.
We got dumped on pretty good
up there, though, right?
Yeah, on the way up there.
Okay.
Yeah, we was in our rain gear. Remember when we went to Niagara Falls? We were already in our rain gear. Yeah. But it didn't matter because we were going to Niagara Falls. You were already going to get sprayed on. He didn't see that part of the video, y'all. His head too big.
I made the damn
video. What I gathered from the feedback of the people that went on the journey with you is that they felt like you did. At first you had to pull a few teeth and to get it in, but afterwards they were glad that they went.
Oh yeah. I planned it, and together we planned it, and I didn't see it coming together like it did. You know what I mean? I really, the park ranger, and I can't remember her name. She was so awesome. Phenomenal, man. Yeah, she was so full of knowledge and just wow. And we got to see Harriet Tubman's house. Harriet Tubman built her house. Her husband was a bricklayer and a brick maker, a mason. And so they made the bricks to build their house, and then they built their house with the bricks that he made. So when you go and lay your hands on her house, you're touching her handiwork all the way from, from when it was just mud and sand to the finish. You could look in her windows and see Harriet Tubman's home. Yeah. She was still a slave when she built that home. They gave her land. She was a landowner as a slave because she was an escaped slave, right?
Sure.
So she never had her freedom until emancipation came out. So she got the land before Lincoln signed the Emancipation Proclamation. And so she was a slave and a landowner at the same time. That's phenomenal.
Oh yeah.
I'm sorry, y'all. I'm really a history nerd, so I get excited by this.
Just a nerd.
I guess part of my point is to bring out that one, it's an historical ride because the people that went with you, they may never know when they have that type of opportunity again. And two, to tell people, plan your ride and make it something that's of value to you, so you not only have fun on your motorcycle, but you actually get to learn some things and experience some new things other than just the regular motorcycle stuff.
Right.
Yeah, and that's the thing that I hope people took away from it, because we had such a great time, and I can't identify a single person that didn't enjoy themselves on that trip. And I also hope that the people who didn't go, who got to hear about it and watch the videos that we put out about it, that they look, and next time they'll definitely go along, because that's, like I said, that's part of it. The journey to get there, to me, is a big part of it, because I enjoy that part of it. Because all the stories that come about, like Chill's clothes that scattered all over the freeway. Just all the fun things that happen along the way. You meet people, and that journey is awesome. But then when you get there, you get some kind of experience that you might not have had otherwise. And I think that's big. I think that's a big part of it. It was about 1,000 miles. We could have just driven 1,000 miles, turned around, and came back.
Right.
And got nothing out of it.
Right.
So we had a place that we were going to that was, a historical place, and that had all the relevance it had there. And we got to see the beauty of the Niagara Falls. Just a great trip. Highly recommend people plan their trips like that. Plan it so where you're going someplace where you can have some stories to tell, something to come back and share with your friends and family.
And that's what makes it historic. You can't bring that time back.
Right.
Yes.
Without a doubt.
Once you've experienced it, that's it.
Yeah.
And to say that you had a great time, a little adversity, but that's being on a motorcycle.
Yeah.
And that's, like I said, encouraging people to make their rides a little bit more personal.
Yeah.
So that you do get that historic feeling out of it. That sense of accomplishment out of it.
Right.
Other than just riding a motorcycle.
Right.
And we wouldn't be doing this trip any justice if we left out the Sons of Solomon, because I wanted to make this duality of purpose.
Sure.
So we saw the Zulus in Akron, Ohio, and at the end of the trip, we wanted to see another motorcycle club to see if they would host us. Well, it just so happens that the Sons of Solomon MC out of Syracuse, I didn't know a motorcycle club out of northern New York to save my life. So the girls out of Throttle Legends in Chicago, who actually told me about the Sons of Solomon MC, and she came to New York so that she could greet us when we met the Sons of Solomon. She brought her club to New York. We all hung out and had a great time at the Sons of Solomon. Just everything came together, and it just so happened that the president of the Sons of Solomon is an elected congressman for the state of New York. You know what I mean? Just all of this is coming together from this small, idea that we had when we were on another trip.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Traveling through Gettysburg. So now we know people in Ohio. We know people. That's the love that we got from Throttle Legends out of Chicago, the women of Throttle Legends out of Chicago, and she came all the way to New York to introduce us to.
Oh, well, hold on a second. So, just to be clear, we did not receive any love from the ladies. They were
Well, she came with her dude, so she came with her significant other. Yes, honey, Lola, baby. We did not receive any love.
There was no love reception going on. There were some handshakes. There might have been a hug or something. But that's about it.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Thanks for the clarification. You might have just saved my life. Yeah. So.
You home safe.
Okay. So now that got us through this whole trip, man, and so everything else on the back end of that was just phenomenal, man. I mean, the reception, the feelings that the people expressed that actually came on the ride, the emotion that you had when you were there that you wouldn't have had, so I mean that obviously has spurred us to want to do more. So now we want to go and see Black Wall Street, and now we want to go and see Frederick Douglass's gravesite.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so those are 2 goals that I have for next riding season.
Also talked about the iron butt of black historical places around the South. That might be something we'll throw in there too.
Absolutely, because it starts off in Little Rock. It's already a ride.
Yep.
It starts off in Little Rock and it goes all the way. It comes to Memphis. It goes down
New
to
Orleans, doesn't it?
not New Orleans. It goes to Alabama to the bridge that Martin Luther King crossed over in Alabama. Montgomery.
Montgomery.
Yeah, then it goes to
Atlanta.
I think Atlanta to go to his monument, King Monument. So all of that, and you get to integrate biking into this. I love motorcycles. I love my motorcycle club. I don't necessarily love doing motorcycle parties, but this motivates me to get out. You know what I mean? This motivates me to get out and want to see more.
Gives a trip a purpose.
Yeah.
Other than just getting miles. Even though
and going to another state just to drink beer.
Championship.
So if he wins this year,
after I win this year,
after
I win my second one in a row,
he'll jump into his esteemed land of having 2 championships, like somebody else.
I think that elevates me above my first 2 years riding ever.
So with that, we're going to wrap this one up.
Yeah,
and my point of the video was to tell people a small spark can bring out a lot of good things when just riding a motorcycle and being part of a club and going to a club party or a club event. There's more to see out there on your motorcycle, and make it personal, and that way you get more out of the journey.
Yep, absolutely.
Okay.
So thanks for allowing us to, explain our vision.
You're welcome.
I told y'all his head big as hell. Look at it.
That's gonna do it for me. The spoiler Real Riders Ride. That is Jus-Rollin. That is Cue, the
Mileage champion.
YouTube star, and we will see you on the road.
Dig that.